say the audio recording has been admitted into evidence in the ongoing ambulance trial. The odi battery kasemu a de me pa kire ne say awiane mu na justice afiase wasare botwe ya oye judge ni a ote ambulance case no so kan say sa audio recording no a MPP NDC case lato forcing the attorney general twe ne sere ne abasa no enedie yaji atum se emeya dansidie ewo ambulance case a ekoso ewo the Accra High Court na nipa bebrebe adwene ayi wo na se ADNT and on this same recording, the learned Justice Efiasewa Asarebochi Ede Ebetu just said, there is not enough evidence in the tape to make a decision. Say the Attorney General was trying to implicate Casey Latofos and using Richie jAKPA into order dismissing mistrial. Now for the DNA Sentia and the Justice Efiasewa Asarebochi admitted the audio recording as evidence. Now, Odwani Chiremu ewo the law platform. Lawyer for ye gba wo hono eji enchiremu edi free the high court omo de ensam no tofo nyina aba with and afi nso no cross examination enedua yi ehase ewo Accra High Court won so omo de ho nsem aba nti ebekom na ya chichim kakra enti no omo se law on admissibility of evidence emra ebua amaya ji bebi atum se emeya dansidie no se na mra ne ka omo say her ladyship Justice Efiasewa Asarebochi gave an exposition on the law regarding admissibility of evidence per the Evidence Act and highlighted the application of the famous Kubaji versus Asari and others case. Kubaji case on breaches to privacy rights. The court said that the present case is a reverse scenario in the Kubaji case and same has applicability to the present case. Enti Justice Efiasewa Asarebochi emma yemfato ho adekodienti awoje audio record ni tu mu se eme adansedie ewo case na eye Kubaji versus Asari and others. Now what you say? Ukohesa case no na ye wo breaches to a privacy right. Na emomu court no ejina emra ahodo so edj an audio recording to mu ene case a ekoso ewo the Accra High Court eno no eye pepepe. Now let's look at the admission. Was a Justice Asarebochi per her ruling admitted the audio recording subject to wait to be placed on sale by the court. Her ladyship heard that the conversation on the tape has not been denied by the Attorney General and that there was the need for reciprocity as the Attorney General would have had its evidence admitted if same was procured by breaches to privacy rights. Her ladyship in her ruling drummed on the provisions of the Electronic Transactions Act 2008 Act 772 and the permission it allows for the admission of electronic evidence subject to some exceptions. Enti ahano na Justice Efiasewa Asarebochi her ladyship enchiremu ana wode mane se de di kan ene no ayete no wasa audio recording nim no the Attorney General Godfrey Yeboadame emma bonten emeka se enya nene enti ahono chichiremu wo ho na sa na tie nso a sa evidence sa Attorney General ne na ekura no ena nka wode ba as evidence nka it will be admitted said the beya nipa no a one ne mienu ne ewo tape no so no ebetu bi di nchechiremu aba with regards to komodi a ekọ so tape ni enti no if it is against the Attorney General na ontumi me deny say conversation no enye wono ade a then e wose ye ba kwan ema nipa mienu no obi a ebo no nkuro ena her ladyship esan echiremu say okenkan Electronic Transactions Act 2008 Act 772 kwan for admission of electronic evidence subject to some exceptions. This exception be any one there. the Electronic Transactions Act 2008 Act 772 Emma Quine se court ebeji electronic evidence ede atumu ede ayedwuma ewo court. Now caution. Her ladyship took the opportunity to caution against ambush litigation and waste of time of the court. Enti odi ruling ni nyina to abonti wiye no ena osan ede saa kwanya to hono se manso twe ye ehunhia ya ebe sei court no adaje o case hu de enya de a ono justice efiase wa asarebotwi obesoso sokra da bi onsoso de biarada. Enti immediately ya her ladyship kasa wiye no ena cross examination by lawyers of the third accused Dr. Kesilato Forsen on Richard jAKPA on the admitted tape no eshasi. Now, her ladyship justice efiase wa serebotwi e kan say answer na cross examination no kwa be shase. Our question be our person Richard jAKPA through the lawyers of Kesilato Forsen or more cross examination e be address. One, there is a commentary out there say a Justice Yoni Kulendi, Supreme Court Justice, and a year arrangement for that said meeting in his house with the Attorney General without the notice of the Attorney General say Richard jAKPA will be present at the meeting. And na ebinum so nam say Attorney General no na request that meeting no from Richard jAKPA because say na our proud motive be say yeah. There was also jelly the minority leader Kesilato Forsen. Enti saying enetie. Enunti Emma lawyers for Dr. Kesilato Forsen. The first cross examination question umbusa Richard jAKPA said, who requested to have meetings with the learned Attorney General? And Richard jAKPA say, and okura pan wasem say, eye ono Richard jAKPA and a requested to have meetings with the learned Attorney General. And now question say, how many times and or no Richard jAKPA a requested for meetings with the learned Attorney General? To pay Mr. Richard jAKPA or say he met the learned Attorney General 4 times. 4 times. And I was saying, the AG obliged him his request. A very, very interesting cross examination, of course. Richard jAKPA gitu mu say, afedie, onu mum ne request say, opesa wani Attorney General shia. But in all the requests, the Attorney General obliged to all of the requests. And now, onu Richard jAKPA, a passing through Justice Kulendi. Or passing through Justice Kulendi, no. And because of Justice Kulendi, the Attorney General agreed a meeting with him through Justice Kulendi. And this means that the Attorney General only agreed to meet Richard jAKPA because of the learned Justice Yoni Kulendi. Tinkomo eko soma Justice Yoni Kulendi to me convince the Attorney General to meet Richard jAKPA through cross-examination in Yinabipi. And Richard jAKPA said, the purpose of the meeting was to allow him explain the whole story and why charges against him were unfounded. And from the narration Richard jAKPA was giving in court today, everything was about him. Yemo to force in diwa. To arrange that particular meeting to let the Attorney General know the entire story and that charges brought up against him, Richard jAKPA, as the third accused person, was unfounded. Throughout the discussion, the first accused Atto Forsen Yemoni Diwa. And Richard jAKPA Saka said, upon the meeting, he had enough time to explain his story. Now, during the course of the cross-examination, he also made a narration of a conversation between himself and the learned Attorney General in the presence of the learned Supreme Court Judge, Justice Johnny Kulendi. In response to a question from the learned Dr. Bassett Bamba, the accused Richard jAKPA said he holds the view that the prosecution was based on witch hunting and political points scoring. He said, per his narration, the goal of the prosecution was also to have the seat of the minority leader and first accused declared vacant for the conduct of a by-election. Aha, that statement we and the so kakra. Because from the start of the cross-examination, we say, oh yeah, arrangement with the Attorney General, say, woo Japan. Charges are de abobo one, no person with the Attorney General say, and you so nim. Now, fe why chere and some new nyina the Attorney General. One ka ato force and one se. What's say meeting with the Attorney General was solely based on you, Richie Japan, and discussions about you, not ato force. And a year day now, the discussions are yet centered on you and charges pressed on you. No, it to me what Danny say. Attorney General any team upon you say. Obesco political points. Now I hear witch hunting. Now I'm making sure say minority leader case lato force in the seat declare vacant. Now for the records. Emra case started case lato force na onya minority leader in parliament. He was just an MP for a Jumaku Enyan Isiam constituency in the central region. Na onye minority leader in parliament. Now, during his cross-examination, which followed after the respected Justice Efia Sewa Asarabutwi gave her ruling on the admissibility of the audio recording, Mr. jAKPA again gave lengthy answers suggesting that the state and the present government was responsible for the state of the ambulances as they failed to follow a letter of implementation. Now, I have planned dear before Hunkran. What can say letter of implementation or Richard jAKPA was some letter of implementation, each say 207 mini buses, Benz bus, no mko kraba yenwa, na yada katuno. Na ka yese ko India. Ako siki for Bosnia. Edi akokra medical equipment. Edi abefiti those empty vehicles. Amanaba be ambulance. Ani ebusa say the 2.37 million euro, according to the memorandum of understanding between the government of Ghana, Big C General Trading Limited in Dubai, the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Health, and the Ghana Ambulance Service. And him for na shemu say, yemfa 2.37 million euro no enko kraka winim. Na yewia ya sa kopesi ka foforo akokra medical equipment. Yeah, implementation. Only God knows where this letter of implementation is coming from. Mr. jAKPA also was of the view, per his responses to questions by Dr. Bassett, that the ambulances could not have been declared unfit for purpose, as the accessories which had to be fitted in the ambulances are yet to be cleared and fitted in the vans, which were imported to serve the purpose of ambulances. And none of me children. He was saying, say MPP are buying Emma Quine Kwaji Bosiano, Emma yet de clear container na accessories ni gum. Ebe sheshe no was a empty car anymore, and can make it to me ambulance. Entino, a buying penny ama young clear accessories no. Fitted those accessories into the empty vans yom kwa krabail enunti and the ma alles segbefia and declare those ambulances not fit for purpose. This is according to narration by Richie jAKPA. Narration by Richie jAKPA. Now, lawyers for the first accused, Dr. Atoforsen, ended their cross-examination of Mr. jAKPA today. The state also began its cross-examination and will continue on Tuesday, the 18th day of June 2024. The way information kakrebi, the law platform for Adaroma, to me apeke a free. The Financial, Economic and Criminal Division of the Accra High Court involving the ambulance case. In the end of the power, states and also cross-examination Mr. Richie JAKPA. Any answers are the no. We are still following the law platform. Say in Sabeka that information. Yes, you best sign the Abremo on this same platform.
John, let me say 14 somewhere.
Yeah.
And scripture says, and Satan possessed Judas. And he walked out at night. That night that he was betrayed. Jesus was betrayed. Yeah. Scripture says that Satan possessed him. My question is that what has possessed John Muhammad? Yeah, what has possessed him? And I keep saying that. So, in front of me here, I said the same Christ who called Peter and Bartholomew and Thomas and James and John. It's the same Jesus who called Judas. Now, the same Jonathan Mills, our friend John Muhammad. It's the same Jonathan Mills, our friend. If I have chosen to remain loyal to the man who picked a phone and called me one morning, Koku, please, can you work for him? And I've said this severally.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm the Sumina so. Yes, I'm the baller so. Yes, I'm the I was gainfully employed in the first private commercial bank in this country, the then Metropolitan and Allied Bank. By that time, I had risen to become the head of Treasury, Finance and Investments. Prior to that, I had worked in the United Nations High Commission for Refugee Office here in Ghana. We brought in the Liberian refugees, the Sierra Leonean refugees.
Okay.
Done some good corporate work. But the man saw talent in me. He saw potential in me and invited me. You, John Muhammad, is the same man who invited you. Now, you have decided to be possessed by something. Our own kind. I say I've decided to be possessed by loyalty. And I'll continue to remain loyal to the man. That one too is a crime. So you have chosen to be possessed by something. I've chosen to be possessed by loyalty. So that's your business.
Okay.
But this is why you get the kind of statistics you are getting.
Okay. Okay.
That the party may be doing well, but as an individual, you are not doing well. And this kind of statistics justifies the 2020 results. The skirt and blouse. That yes, you need MPP for their pinso our parliament. A drum half, 50-50. But Nanado beat you. Now look at this other one too. Now we are doing NDC strongholds in general.
Okay.
Northern region, OT, Savannah, Volta,
And Western
North. Look at the figures. 62.5% of our strongholds showed a decline in votes with JDM as flag bearer. A total of 9.9% of the vote share of our strongholds going to MPP. Statistics terms, 9.9. So that's rounding it up to the nearest whole number.
That's 10.
That's 10%.
10%, yeah.
How do you claw that back?
So, Koku, we share analysis we are. The party itself no need problem, but the candidature.
Look, you go out there now. That's what the people will tell you. And we floated these statistics when NDC was going to go for primaries in support of some those of us who supported Dr. Kwabena Dufo. Our supporters that massa young year. So smart support. So when I OBE analysis now say GM is going to win Greater Accra by 70%. There's another guy, Musa Dankwa.
Yeah, Musa Dankwa.
Who has been doing all kinds of analysis all over there.
I saw you responding.
Yes, I responded to him once on Hello FM. He ran away from the Hello FM. Recently, I think on your network, I put out the information.
Sure. Yeah.
I think he has confirmed the point I made. Say, recently, there was an NDC parliamentary retreat.
Okay.
Volta region. Volta Serene Hotel, to be specific.
Okay.
And Musa Dankwa had been throwing lots of statistics around. So of course the parliamentary caucus was NSA the Yatiti saying Nkrofobi na Bopa within the NDC.
Okay.
So on yes idea we nafa hwa GM feel say winnie. Honestly, I feel sorry for GM. Look, truth. You will be like that Roman Empire. You'll be walking around dancing naked, and then your people will tell you that you are in the best of clothes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is what's happening to JM. And I've spoken to one or two of them before, especially when we were in power. I won't mention names. I was Deputy General Secretary. I didn't have access because it seemed me a threat to JM. If I let me give you a funny story. There was one day, some security people came to my house, military and police.
Okay.
Long and short, I'm a pamicho. I'm in Flagstaff household. Because they are under instructions. Send me back Flagstaff household. I should be embarrassed. Oh. Why?
That time and this number power.
Oh, yeah, power. Say President Musa baby. And we are winning 2012 elections. So now GM has left the castle. This was when they left the castle. Jubilee House. Castle. And that they had been told that if I come to the Flagstaff house, I should not be allowed entry because I'm a security threat to GM. I'm telling you. Yeah. Now, this was 2013, 2014. So I don't believe I entered that Flagstaff house until I became Deputy General Secretary. So as